Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're leaving Kochi today, but before we do, there's one last site to squeeze in, the Kochi Castle Museum. It's going to be a manic morning rushing about, but the museum was well worth it. After the museum, we have to rush up to Kochi station where we'll grab our first train on our way to Tokushima on the east coast of Shikoku. We have one afternoon and evening to explore this new city, and we found a site with an outstanding view. And you know us, of course we found some delicious food to share with you along the way. Before we get into it, please do us a favor and give the video a like. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Let's go.
Good morning! It is a mad dash this morning and we're trying to beat the clock.
Yes, it is right now about 8:40 in the morning and we're trying to rush to go see the Castle Museum, which opens at 9. Then we have to rush from there back here for 10 o'clock to pick up our bags and check out and be at the tram station out here at 10:30. So let's get going. Whew, 8:59, we just made it before they opened the doors. That was well planned. Luckily you can shrink down and fit in my pocket, otherwise we would have been at least another 10 minutes.
Handy superpower.
Yes, it is handy. So this is the Kochi Castle Museum, and it's something I really wanted to try and fit in yesterday, but it just didn't work out with the team lab exhibit going on at night. We had to change up our plans yesterday so we could fit that in before dinner, but we can come here before we have to check out. We have about an hour at the museum here, and the building itself is fantastic.
It's so modern.
It looks really cool, and they light it up really neat at night, and it's this interesting shape that you can see from the top of the castle.
I like that the bottom is made of rock, so it resembles the fortress or the bottom of a real castle.
Yeah, it kind of got some design elements, it's sharing some design elements and modernizing them. It's really neat. I'm hoping they have a really good exhibit. It looks like it from the information I was reading. So I think they just opened the doors. It's 9 o'clock. Let's get in there and explore the Castle Museum. After checking out a really cool video, you walk down a hall into the main exhibit. On one side of this hall is a timeline starting at like 800s all the way up to the 2000s, and we think this is showing the history of the clan that ruled Tosa domain. And on the other side are some amazing maps, a really massive map, and then some smaller maps showing the progression of the Kochi area. The exhibit so far has been really interesting, and they've put a lot of effort up front in discussing the history of castles and how they were built. And they have a really good diorama here showing a cross-section of Kochi Castle and the various levels inside. And they were explaining that a castle is ranked in two ways: how many levels it is, which is what you see from the outside, and how many stories it is, which is how many internal levels there actually are. Kochi Castle is a 4-level castle, but inside there's actually 5 floors. There's sort of like a hidden floor in there, and they've done this in many castles, often to confuse invaders. So they go in thinking that it's one thing, but in actuality it's different, so they get disoriented, but also to hide things on that hidden floor. It was really interesting to see that cross-section and have that explained. They also talked a lot about planning for a castle and how much effort went into actually figuring out how to lay out the castle and the city around it, making best use of the geography of the area. And you can really feel that when you're walking up Kochi Castle. You can get a sense of just how they took advantage of the different rocks and cliffs to position the castle at a strategic point for its defense. After walking through the hall that shows the history of the castle and how castles are built and various pieces of castles, you come into a hall which has some artifacts of the clan, and there's showing some samurai outfits, some scrolls, some swords, various bits that belong to the clan that ruled the Tosa domain. They have a samurai suit here which belonged to the 12th lord of the castle, and the helmet is really impressive. It's really ornate. I love samurai helmets, especially when they have this much design on them, ornamental design. This one actually has like a three-dimensional dragon on top of it in between the sort of gold wings that stick out. And there's also an example of a helmet which I'd never seen before, which is covered in yak fur, and I'm guessing they would wear this when it's cold out, keep their neck and the top of their shoulders warm. Be pretty warm with that much yak fur.
Michael just showed you the helmet he likes, the very ornate dragon helmet. I like the simple rabbit head helmet. It was owned by the 4th lord of the clan. Reminds me of something from a Marvel movie.
Yeah, you have Spider-Man, you have Ant-Man.
And now there's Rabbit Man. We stumbled in on a special exhibit that's going on right now, and that exhibit centers around death. So behind me, or beside me, there's mortuary tablets. And I can't believe how elaborate they are. And there's also computer-generated versions of the tombstones that we see, and it gives you a lot of detail. Most of them are in Japanese, but there's a few that I can make out here and there with a bit of English, and it's very interesting to see the timeline and how the tombstones have changed over the years. It was worth shrinking myself down and fitting into your pocket and you mad dashing over here because this museum was so informative and good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Could have used a bit more time, like at least another hour, and getting the audio guide. I think I would have really enjoyed it, but I'm glad we managed to squeeze it in this morning and check it out because yeah, it had a really good exhibit.
And it's well put together in a very easy way to understand.
Yes, especially since there wasn't that much English. There was a little bit here and there, but there was a lot more Japanese that wasn't translated. Yeah. I think the audio guide would have covered all of that. And it had a cool video.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I was very entertained by the video, which had English subtitles.
Yeah, so that one was easy to watch and really fun, and talked about taking the castle. So basically similar to how I was talking yesterday about imagining trying to storm the castle and take it would be virtually impossible, and this kind of ran you through that and why it would be very difficult. So that was kind of interesting. And in between they gave sort of history lessons or lessons of castles and different elements of them, and for example what I explained about the levels and stories that came from that video. Yeah, really cool. So we're just sitting here admiring the view and trying to pull ourselves away because we should head back to the hotel. It is now 9:41. We're about 15 minutes ahead of schedule, which is like unheard of for us. Are we feeling okay? Maybe we're sick.
Maybe we missed a section of the museum.
Yeah, nah, I think we got it. All right, let's enjoy this view for a little bit longer and then head out of here. So we were ahead of schedule back at the museum when we last spoke to you, and as usual we wasted that advantage because we wanted to walk through the exhibit one last time, and then we were behind schedule. So now we actually are rushing back to the hotel as we were thinking we would this morning. We're almost back now, but we have very, very narrow margins to catch the right tram, to connect to the next right tram to get us to the station. So now it is 10:10 and we have a few more minutes before we're back at the hotel. We have to get up there, finish our last bit of packing, check out, get across the street to the tram station, all before 10:26. Bags acquired. Nicole's finishing her last minute packing upstairs. I'm gonna go check out. We have 10 minutes to reach the tram station. We caught the first tram. Now we gotta get across to catch the next tram up to the main station where we're catching our train. I think we're doing okay. It's about 10:35 right now. All right, we caught the first tram, and now we're at the transfer point to the second tram. We just missed the one we were hoping to get at 10:37. We have to wait now till 10:44, but that should still give us enough time to get all the way up there to Kochi train station, catch our train onto our next destination. So I think we're doing okay, even though it's been a little bit manic and stressful. We are on the train. We're on the train headed to Tokushima, which is just a quick stop for us one night because we're jumping from there to somewhere else. And we'll explain that tomorrow. But for now, we have 2 trains ahead of us and we should roll into Tokushima around 2:30. It is now 11:15.
I had no doubts that our plans this morning was going to go without any hitch.
I had some doubts. But that's because I'm traveling with you.
When we went to catch the first tram, we arrived and the tram arrived immediately afterwards.
That
it
was
by the
close.
skin of our teeth. Hair? Skin?
Yeah, teeth. The skin of our teeth. But I think once we got that, it was pretty easy. Pretty smooth sailing. But I'm really happy to be sat on the train, and now we don't have to worry for 69 minutes until we transfer. Our trip to Tokushima is going to take roughly 4 hours, with one transfer at Awa Ikeda Station. The first leg on a limited express train on the JR Dozan line is really comfortable, and while Nicole is napping, I'm enjoying the beautiful scenery of Shikoku. Arriving at Awa Ikeda Station, we say hello to our friend Anpan Man. It seems the train networks on Shikoku love him. Our second leg is the longer of the 2, and unfortunately it's on a local train, which means a lot of stops along the way. But it's this cute single car train which will take us all the way east to Tokushima Station. Welcome to Tokushima!
Yay, Tokushima!
We made it!
I hope Tokushima has food.
Yeah, me too. I'm very hungry. So we basically just got out of the train station, walked for 30 seconds to our hotel, which is right behind us. The train station is right in front of us, and checked in. And luckily they let us check in a little early, 2:30, and now we're down here on the hunt for food.
That was so painless and easy. I love it when the hotel is right in front of the train station.
Yeah, I love it too. I love just walking out of the train station and looking around and seeing the hotel and everything else that's around here. It's a really cool area outside the train station. Usually outside any train station that is in a bigger town or city is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we don't have a ton of time. We want to go find food, stuff our faces, and then we have an idea for what we want to do for the rest of the day, which involves an ascent. Our search for food brought us into the basement of the train station.
It's a food hall.
Yeah, it's a food hall down here. There's also shops selling souvenir food to take home with you. Lots of other options like bars and restaurants down here, but we've chosen a specific one that lured you down.
I saw the photo above.
Yeah.
They had many variations and my eyes just went, oh.
You mean this place has many variations of what we've ordered?
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately our first choice didn't work out. In this area, udon's a thing, it's a popular thing, and a certain kind of restaurant where you get udon and then you can pick your toppings, like your different deep fried sort of shrimps or fish cakes or whatever you want. They usually have it laid out, but since it's a weird time of day, their fried stuff wasn't looking so hot. So we're gonna have to maybe try that tomorrow for lunch if we have time before we leave, or next time we come to the area. This is a place we saw actually near our Airbnb back in Tokyo, and it really looked good, but we just didn't get to it. But now we are. We're gonna be able to hit it up.
My hopes are high.
Yeah, me too. It looks really good. So our order is in. It involves a hot plate and it involves beef. So there's a bit of a hint. We'll show it to you when it gets here. Here's another clue for you. We've donned bibs. If it looked like Nicole had crazy eyes in the last couple of clips to you, that's because she did. She had hungry crazy eyes.
I did. I was looking at my co-host like he was my lunch. But I've had some meat in me and I'm super happy. In the last few meals, you've seen us eat beef at the ryokans. And that beef is spectacular and it's exquisite and you feel like you have to savor it. But there's something about eating steak, and I don't know if it's just our background and we're just used to eating it. It's such comfort food. As soon as it came and as soon as we were sawing away at it with our knives and fork, immediately, you know what I mean? It just felt like nostalgic and there's just nothing like a big slab of steak or you're shoving in your mouth. For me anyways.
Yeah, it is really good. And the hot plates are always fun and a little bit messy. I'm glad they gave us bibs because my bib is completely splattered and that would be my clothes otherwise. But yeah, this is really good. I think I'm gonna do something a little bit unorthodox. So this feels like a bit of an upper scale pepper lunch.
Yeah.
Pepper lunch does a very similar thing and we had like happened upon pepper lunch on our very first trip in 2007 when we were super green about Japan. And there you had to order by vending machine to buy tickets and we just didn't, like I just remember that experience was crazy. And they were famous for doing rice with meat and corn all on a hot plate. And I remember loving that dish.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I ordered when we were back in Tokyo on this trip as we went to pepper lunch because it was a bit nostalgic for us. This place doesn't seem to do that. Their steak's a little bit, yeah, their steak's a little bit higher class than pepper lunch. Although pepper lunch is trying, they have some more classy options on the menu now. But I'm gonna totally pepper lunch this classy meal and dump all my rice on to my hot plate and mix it all up. And that is a really fantastic way to eat beef. I've cubed up all my beef already. I still have some corn. I'm looking forward to mashing it all together. All right, my slightly classier pepper lunch is coming together here. It's looking really good. The meat here is a little bit classier, so I got some pretty good quality steak mixed into this rice. I'm probably ruining the steak, to be honest, but that's really good. It's gonna need a little bit more steak sauce. They have a big carafe here of steak sauce, so you can sauce it up as much as you want. This is a perfect use of the rice though, because it's soaking up all the juices left on the hot plate from cooking the steak and the corn and the butter that they put on there. There's some grated garlic here that we've added to the hot plate, so there's a lot of good juice down on that hot plate that would get wasted if I didn't soak it up with the rice. Now this is comfort food. I think we've craved comfort food a lot on this trip for some reason, and we haven't been shy about going out for it. Tonight is no exception. The tables in here are really interesting. They're set up sort of individual, so every table is kind of its own little space. And Nicole and I are sitting in two that are side by side, so it kind of feels like our own individual space. In between us and the tables in front of us are sort of partitions where all the sauces and cutlery and napkins live. And it's kind of a fun way to eat. Kind of like in my own little zone, just able to chow down and no one's gonna bother me. I'm so full.
I inhaled my meal. I just inhaled it. I don't even remember like eating it. It was very good, but it's gone.
My rice trick hit the spot. That was so tasty. But keep in mind, we haven't eaten since 8 o'clock this morning. That's when we finished breakfast and then headed off to the Castle Museum. And it's about 3:30 when we sat down in here. So yeah, we were both really hungry. But that destroyed that hunger.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna be hungry for a day.
I would totally recommend this place.
Yeah, it was really good. Really, really tasty. Mix your rice into your hot plate, get all those juices off the bottom there and enjoy that. Really, really good.
It's a Japanese spin on a Western style food.
Yeah.
It still somehow tastes Japanese to me.
Yeah. Maybe the sauces, the spicing, I don't know.
The plate, that somehow when I'm eating this, I know I'm not eating barbecue from home, or I'm not eating steak from home.
Yeah.
So it was a good experience.
Yeah, definitely. And the link for this specific place is down below, but you can use that to find the chain, and they seem to be all over Japan. So shouldn't be a problem finding one of these if you want to try it. Or pepper lunch.
Yeah.
Either or. They both do the hot plate and they're both very good. So I think we're done. We're gonna get out of here and go do our one attraction before we head to bed. We just popped up to the hotel room to pick up a few things. Got our jackets because where we're going is probably going to be a little bit chilly, especially once the sun sets. Grabbed my tripod because hopefully I'll be able to take some interesting photos from up where we're going. And going up to the hotel room was actually kind of dangerous because I saw the bed, and that really tempted me to want to lie down on the bed because after that meal I am stuffed stupid, as we like to say. So we just have a short 10-minute walk from the train station, aka our hotel, to where we have to grab the ropeway. I guess the hints are going to get a little bit more hint-like, and you're going to figure out where we're going. But yes, we're going to take a ropeway. It seems like there can be quite a few things to do in Tokushima, but since we rolled in pretty late and had to eat, we decided to do something that had a late closing, and that was going up Mount Bizan.
Bison?
Bizan. That's what we were hinting at when we were down there walking towards it. We took the ropeway up. It's a cool little ropeway, eh? It's interesting. It's like two smallish pods that seem to be fused together for some reason. They go up in pairs.
Yeah, that is weird that it was fused together for some bizarre reason.
Yeah, and
it runs every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes. It's only about a 5 to 6 minute ride up, and the view from up here is spectacular back down over Tokushima.
It was voted one of Japan's top 100 scenic viewpoints.
Top 100?
Yeah.
What number?
The brochure did not say.
Could have been 99.
Still pretty good. Japan has a lot of places you can see
That's
cool
true.
Stuff from.
But it is a really great view, and you can look down over the harbor, over the port, Tokushima port, where we're going to be going tomorrow morning. To take a ferry back over to Honshu. We're going back to the main island tomorrow to explore a prefecture we have never visited before. And this was just sort of a little one-night stop to make getting the ferry easier, because otherwise we would have been taking, 3 hours of trains like today to get there, a taxi, and then the 2-hour ferry ride. So breaking it up was in order, and I'm glad we did, because this is really cool. I like coming up and getting a view.
Yeah, you're always more excited than I am about observatory places, but this one I really, really liked. And the ironic thing is that we're on a mountaintop. One side of the view is of the city, and that's where everybody is. But there was no one on the other side, which is where I was, because that's the side where it was a view of all the mountains, and the sun was setting on that side, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah, it was. And this, what I'm about to tell you, is just a perfect example of how trustworthy Japan is generally. I left my camera doing a time lapse on the side looking down over the city and went with Nicole to go enjoy the other view, and came back at least 10 minutes later and my camera was still there clicking away. And that is just indicative of the culture here. It's just super safe and trustworthy.
We should get going.
Yeah, let's go down and explore the top here. There's a few things to check out other than just the view. It's 6 o'clock. We were just sitting up here doing that last clip for a bit and came down, and it's deserted up here. I'm standing at the main observatory point, right on top of the station where the cable cars come up, which gives you a good vantage point because of course the track going down is all cleared of trees, so you can see pretty good from here. But there's no one around. It's kind of spooky. There's some vending machines. They are still here, but I don't see any people, which is crazy. It's only 6. It has gotten quite chilly, but we're gonna take a little walk down a path over here, which should take us to a shrine. Fingers crossed it's the right path. Let's go see if it is. We found the shrine. It wasn't too far from the cable car station, right underneath of a bunch of antennas, which is pretty crazy. It's a really weird spot. And right behind the shrine is what I think is a television broadcast station of some sort. I think I was reading on the internet. Nicole's here looking at some literature on the wall. And it's actually kind of spooky up here with no one around. As we were walking down that path, I could hear something rustling in the woods beside us and the trees. And I'm wondering if there's monkeys up here, or I don't know. It sounded relatively large, and I'm hearing it again. And then on the other side, we could hear something which sounded like a crazy bird, like really unhappy bird, or I don't know what else it could have been. But I'm kind of feeling like walking back to the station. We're heading back now to the station, and we're almost there, and so far whatever was in the woods did not get us. Phew. And these huge antennas, some of them are broadcasting FM radio for NHK, and one of them is a TV broadcast antenna. I'm not sure which station or who owns it, but pretty neat that one of them is NHK, because we love watching NHK when we're at home. They stream on the internet. You can get it from pretty much anywhere in the world if you have internet connection, and it's always fun to watch that. So we're back at the station now. There's one other thing over here that we're going to go show you. This is the other side Nicole mentioned earlier with a view over the mountains. But there is this structure over here we wanted to show you. This is a memorial built in 1958 to remember war dead. It is modeled after a pagoda in Myanmar, which was Burma back then. The ropeway just arrived at the station. As we said, it comes every 15 minutes, so we're pretty much done up here. I got some video of the other thing we wanted to show you, which we're not quite sure exactly what that is, but it's a really cool structure. And we're walking down the stairs right now to the ropeway, and we're surrounded by anime. I'm gonna give you a view of that and then talk about it a little bit later. So the cable car did arrive. So then we came down into the station to board it to go down, only to realize that it's gonna be sitting here for about 8 minutes before we can get on. And yeah, that makes sense. It's 6 minutes to come up, and then it runs every 15 minutes. So that leaves a bunch of minutes where it's gonna sit here and wait until it goes back down. We didn't clue into that. So we're just sitting down here in the station. That gives me a chance to tell you about the anime posters and all the anime stuff that we've been noticing. So when we came off the cable car, as soon as we started going up the stairs out of the station, we started seeing anime posters. And then there's cutouts of characters from, it seemed like they're all from the same anime, I don't know, movie or series. There's a guy with a pig head. There's a girl that kind of looks like a vampire. And then there's this guy that Nicole posed with. We're not really up on anime, so I don't really know what this all means and why they're all here. So I did a quick Google search and found that Tokushima hosts what's kind of like the Comic-Con of anime. And it started in 2009 and it's here. It's been here every year since then, and apparently some really big names come to this convention here in Tokushima. So that's kind of interesting, kind of neat, and sort of ties together why there's so many anime posters here. And then we noticed upstairs, underneath the inside platform where we did our first clip for you, the first floor of that building is in like an anime cafe of some sort. There's a whole seating area on tatami mats where you can sit and watch TV screens that are playing anime, or you can just look at the view. If you order a beverage, there were signs that were pretty clear that you have to have a beverage to sit up in there. And then they had a little gift shop which was selling anime goods like pencil cases and posters and some inappropriate half-naked anime characters stuff, and it's all the same characters, so we're not quite sure what's going on with that. It's time for us to take the cable car down. So there is some kind of deep-rooted anime tie-in here at Tokushima.
Ready to go down the ropeway?
I am, and we have it to ourselves this time. Ooh. That's a little bit more comfortable. It's a little crowded on the way up.
There's a full house when we came up.
Yeah. Did you enjoy our trip up the Mount Bizan? I think is how you might pronounce it.
I'm going to go with Mount Bizan.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of fun. I like the ropeway up and down. It's a little, everything about it's a little weird, little interesting. At night, it's a little creepy. You were as creeped out as I was, but walking up to that shrine, that sound I was hearing, I was just expecting some like rabid monkey to jump out and attack me.
And you kept voicing your concerns too.
Yeah. And then there's bats flying around, and I'm not a fan of bats.
I like how they fly.
Nah, I don't like the bats.
Okay.
And now we're down. We're down from the ropeway, and we're in the station. The station's on the 5th floor of this building, and we're in the main floor now with
the welcome center.
Yeah, welcome center with a massive gift shop.
Well, Japan's attractions are not complete without a good gift shop.
Yeah.
This one doesn't disappoint. They have everything. They have foods. Oh my God, they have a huge selection of foods, aisles and aisles. They have alcohol. They have tea. They have the clothing, the Japanese blue,
Indigo.
The indigo blue. They have tea wear. They have
everything.
They just have everything. Most
gift shops like this will have things that are like local specialties or things unique to the area. And one of the things unique to this area is a fruit called sudachi, and it looks like lime. And it's just everywhere in here. They have everything to do with sudachi. I think they even have a mascot for sudachi here, a dude with a big green head.
Yeah, I tried to convince Michael that we do have room in our luggage for a little jar of sudachi juice.
We do.
We do.
Yeah. And the other thing that's a specialty or a special to this area is blue dye, indigo dye. And they've mastered dyeing cloth and clothing. And what were you going to say?
That Japanese denim is very, very famous, and the denim was actually invented in this area.
Yeah, the blue denim.
The blue denim.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we are done here. We are going to head out. You're thinking about going to the food hall back at the train station. I have no other ideas, so sure, let's go do that. Right beside the ropeway station down here
at the base.
Yeah, right at the base is a shrine. And I think this is an Inari shrine because it's all painted in vermilion.
Ooh. Which
is the color that an Inari shrine would be painted in, right?
Yes, I'm impressed that you remembered vermilion.
Yeah, it's vermilion. I struggle with that word, but I think I've got it finally. And there goes a cable car right now.
So we were freezing and we were excited to head back to the hotel, or at least the station area, but we saw that big red gate that they have lit up and we're like, come on.
Yeah, we better go up there and check it out. It's a massive vermilion torii gate at the top of these stairs. And there's two tories, a stone torii at the bottom of the stairs and then the big vermilion one at the top. And it's just like the station and everything else we're witnessing in Tokushima. It's a little bit odd, this shrine. Right beside the shrine is the shrine office, and it's lit up with really bright fluorescent lights, and they're selling their wares out on the front step here.
You know what I find weird? Because
What?
I've never seen this before in any shrine I've been to.
What's that?
They have like screen doors, like backyard screen doors. Like
Oh,
at
like
home.
glass doors, glass
screen
sliding doors.
Yeah, glass sliding doors that separate you and the...
Where you would normally have wooden doors that would just completely close.
Yeah, or this part usually just, it remains open, but there's screen doors.
It's very like a weird mix, modern and old in this place.
And
maybe that's what feels, and home. But maybe that's what feels a little bit odd. All right, now we're really cold. Let's head back to the hotel or the food hall. Earlier when we were walking up to the ropeway building, I was not that impressed with the building at all, but at night it is fantastic. We can see it glowing behind me here, this blue building. It looks really, really cool, all lit up like this. These blue, really glowing panels all stacked together. It looks pretty neat at the base of the mountain. Well, the food hall closed by the time we got down there, so we found another alternative, and it's a kind of izakaya. They do dumplings here, and looks like chicken, some sort of chicken, like a chicken leg is a specialty of theirs, and so we ordered all of that. We got two different types of gyoza and a chicken leg.
Yeah. Sometimes we pick a restaurant with really high reviews, or it's famous and we just heard a lot of things about it. And sometimes you pick a restaurant, or sometimes we pick a restaurant because it's beside the hotel and it looks cozy inside. And this place hit both those check marks.
And we could see them making food in the window, and it looked pretty good. And it is pretty good. We've started eating some gyoza already, and the wrappers are super thin, like the ones you had yesterday, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
I love the wrappers. I think it's rare where the wrappers can compete with the stuffing, and I feel like these wrappers definitely can. And the vinegar that they've given us just gives it the perfect tang.
One of the gyozas that we ordered has a pile of green onion on it. I'm gonna tuck into that next. But I also ordered a highball, which is basically like a whiskey and soda water on ice, but this one has the sudachi fruit in it. The sort of lime fruit that they have here, which is to the special of this region. I'm not sure if they've added much juice. There's a wedge of it in here, which I get a whiff of when I have a sip, but it's not super strong, unfortunately. It looks like it's been squeezed already. I don't know, but the alcohol is definitely strong. It's interesting. It's kind of spicy.
Isn't it that made from that vinegar?
I don't know. That's what I thought first, but it's very spicy.
Very
Here goes the gyoza with green onion. I believe it's the same gyoza as the plain one, just piled high with the green onion. And the green onion just gives it a really nice freshness. I get a lot of the onion flavor. It kind of overpowers the gyoza, but not in a bad way, because then the fattiness of the pork comes through at the end. I think I prefer it with the green onion.
Our dumplings have come with this paste, and this green paste looks like wasabi, but it's not wasabi. We believe it's some kind of fruit that's been growing, that's been mashed, but whatever it is, it's incredibly spicy. It's kind of bitter. When you first put it in your mouth, you don't like it. But you want more, and the more you eat it, the more you smear, the bigger amount you smear on
Next
your
time,
food.
yeah.
It's weird, it's bitter, it's really spicy considering it's a fruit.
Well,
it's spicy.
I wonder if it's a spicy pepper that they've pureed up and added in the sudachi fruit.
Yeah,
Probably
it's
a mixture.
tangy.
Yeah.
But yes, when you first start with it, but then it grows and it grows.
The main event has shown up, and we didn't realize it was the main event until it showed up. But this is epic. It's a full chicken leg, which has been deboned and sort of butterflied, and then grilled somehow. It looks spectacular, and I am going to go in for a bite. That's really good.
I like how they served it in this like metal dish that looked like it had been baked in it.
All the fat's rendered out and it's in the dish still. It's got a really good crunch. Like the exterior, I don't think there's skin on it, is there?
There's skin on
There's a
mine.
little bit of skin, but it's gone to almost like a really crispy, jerky kind of consistency.
I have a bite. It's very hot. It's garlicky. It's
Yeah, it's
juicy.
garlic. That's the flavor. Yeah.
Really well seasoned. And it's rare because I saw the photo of this outside and that's what drew me in. And it's really rare when the food arrives and it looks better than the photo.
Yeah, it
and
does.
this one looks better than the photo.
This was a good one. Good choice. We almost just passed this place up because it is literally right beside the hotel.
It felt like we were cheating.
Yeah, that always doesn't feel quite right, but I'm glad we stumbled in here hungry and willing to give it a try because it has been really good.
I know where that phrase chicken finger licking good comes from.
Yeah, that was incredible. I could eat another one. Well, I can't. I'm really full, but flavor-wise,
tired.
yeah, it was really good. I am ready for bed.
I really like how they brought it filleted, like you said.
Yeah.
Because in the photo, it came as like one giant drumstick. So it was easy to share when it was like all cut up for us.
Yeah, it was deboned, filleted, and cut up into chunks. So that was really convenient.
One of the chefs here has been making dumplings non-stop since we have been sitting here. He's a machine.
Yeah, he just keeps going and going.
I guess they just sell a lot of them.
Yeah, they must. It seems like a popular item on the menu.
Well, we ordered how many? 8 each?
2 plates.
Yeah.
All right, we're off. So we will say goodnight to you here because once I get upstairs and I see that bed, I'm going to collapse and be sleeping. Tomorrow we have some fun getting to the port and figuring out how to buy tickets for this ferry. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Night.
Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed visiting the Kochi Castle Museum and exploring Tokushima with us, make sure to let us know by giving the video a like down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. We'll see you in the next one.